Rhinos.
Somebody's asking for it.
You live though, right?
Yeah, I think so. YouTube, CSA.
So just live on the cricket South Africa.
So, oh my God. It's throw my voice.
Then you can share on WhatsApp, sir?
I want to share it, yeah.
On WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Just say to you to share this
Oh, it's fantastic. Done. Thank you very much. It says it's tightened.
Oh, it's so you're on again now.
Sorry that again. You know, when we're still in one to lot about it, just is that stuff there for us?
Yes. There's some. This is the yeah. Bro. Say no, these no smoking on the grandstands, designated smoking areas. It was weird just to see whole camp one. That's what happened. Your brother too. That's fine.
Yeah, go on.
Want to tell you the truth? Make it, make the, make it known, but not so. Because if it comes to me, then that's going to be obviously too. So make it seem something tricky. Let's switch camera.
Let me know when you want me to go. Let me know when you want me to go.
Ready.
All good.
Walk out to flip. Okay, I don't know why.
Oh, what a blessed relief. The music's been turned off. We're ready for the first ball. Tuskers against the Mpumalanga Rhinos. An absolutely crucial game for the Tuskers, less so for the Rhinos. And the news from the middle is that the Tuskers won the toss and put Mpumalanga into bat. Sean Whitehead is going to open the bowling, and he'll be bowling to Karabo Mokhotsi, the 29-year-old right-hander originally from Soweto. And we have got a slip in place. We've got 6 men saving 1. We've got long off, and we've got deep mid-wicket. Context for you, Tuskers are second on the table with 13 points from 4 games, and the Rhinos are without a win from 4 games. They had an abandoned match against SWD, so just 2 points, and they are at the foot of the table. So from the Rhinos' perspective, they've made a few changes because they probably can't qualify from where they are now. As for the Tuskers, if they keep on winning, they should secure a home semi-final next Wednesday. Pietermaritzburg Oval. There's the first run for Karabo Mokhotsi, and now taking strike is the captain of the Rhinos, Mohamed Mayet, another man originally from Gauteng, and he will want to make a bit of a comeback. He hasn't had too many runs this season at the top of the order. This is a good opening over from Sean Whitehead, and the Tuskers have used this tactic successfully in their 3 home games, with Whitehead bowling inside of the power play, which isn't always the case with spinners in T20 cricket, but you can see there's no real turn. He's hurrying the ball onto the batsman, and this is an outstanding opening over with just the single from it so far. Can he get out of it without damage? Oh, big shout for LBW, gone! Mohamed Mayet, his nightmare season continues by my records. That is his 3rd duck of the season, and plumb LBW to one that just hurried straight on. And that is the breakthrough that the Tuskers were looking for. So Mayet is gone for a duck. It is 1 for 1 at the end of the first over. And Sean Whitehead's excellent season continues. And it looks like Umbalelo Budaza will bowl the second over from his favourite end, the Hewlett's end, far end from us. New batsman coming to the crease will be at the non-strikers end is Nonelele Yika. So it'll be Karabo Mokhotsi to face Umbalelo. Particularly at home, he's got a 2 for 17 off 4 against the Inyati, a 1 for 22 off 3 against Southwestern Districts in a losing cause, and then 1 for 19 off 4 against the Heat here on Saturday. He swings the ball when it's new, bowls a nice full length, and he's quick enough. So perfect start for the Tuskers, second over underway. Came out of the middle of the bat, but no run on the offside. Just looking around, we've got a slip, we've got 3 men saving 1 on both sides of the wicket. We've got a third man who's quite square, and we've got a deep backwards square. So fine leg is inside the circle, can't afford to drift down that side. In the air, and that will go all the way for 6 into the pavilion. Wow! Karabo Mokhotsi not afraid to lift the ball. There's nobody back, and once he got it over the infield, it was a safe shot, but even he, I think, will be slightly surprised that is carried all the way for 6, comfortably over the rope and into the picket fence surrounding the grand old pavilion here in Pietermaritzburg. 125 years of cricket at the Alexandra Oval being celebrated, who lit up South African rugby for so many years. Oh, Bataza has bowled him with the Yorker first ball. What a start this is for the Tuskers. It's 8 for 2, and we are 4 balls into the second over.
Let's get down, first.
Your way.
Give you one more night, Captain.
Yeah.
Let's get down, first.
Well, this rather tells you the story of the Mpumalanga Rhinos season. None from 4 before today. They haven't got a good start in any of those games. And now they find themselves 8 for 2 with 2 balls left in the second over. Their captain, Mohamed Mayet, gone for a duck to the third ball that he faced. And as for Nonelele Yika, it's a golden duck for him. So new man coming to the crease is Yuri Snyman, left-hander. Captained the Rhinos last season, and he will need to consolidate. Remember that the Tuskers won the toss, chose to bowl. They are 3 from 4 this season. They lost against Southwestern Districts, but they're unbeaten here at home. Bodaza opens up to Snyman, and what we're seeing from Bodaza is what we've seen the previous 2 home games, bowling a very full length, swings the ball into the right-handers, away from the left-handers, and doesn't give you too many balls to score off. Amazing to think that the non-striker, Karabo Mokhotsi, lifted him over the infield for 6 as easy as you like, but everybody else has battled. And Snowman picking out mid-on. That'll end the second over. 8 for 2, having been put into bat. That one boundary hit is the only good thing to talk about for the Rhinos. As for the Tuskers, well, they would love to have an early finish here because they've got a very big game on Saturday. The Tuskers second on the table, 13 points from 4 games, behind the Eastern Storm, who are an unbeaten 4 from 4 with 16 points. So the game in Benoni on Saturday between the Tuskers and Easterns might effectively be to decide who tops the table. It could also, of course, mean that both sides would have the opportunity of a home semi-final, no matter the outcome. But as far as the Tuskers are concerned, they will want to keep winning. Mike Erlank comes into the attack, bowling his off-spin, and Mokotsi picks up the single through mid-wicket. Erlank, the captain, likes to bowl early on in the power play and doesn't particularly care to bowl too many overs. But I think he probably saw that there was a left-hander in and perhaps a chance to make an early breakthrough. So we've got 7 men saving 1 now, including a short third man. We've got a long off and a deep mid-wicket. Deep mid-wicket will field this. Yuri Sneyman is off the mark. Plenty of time. Mokotsi, I must say, has looked in a different league from everybody else who's faced a ball, and there have been 4 of those so far. Mokotsi looks as if he's well adapted to the conditions. Bowls a bit of off-spin himself, so you'll recognise this stuff from Mike Erlank. Unchanged side for the Tuskers from the team that won on Saturday against the Heat from the Northern Cape. And a couple of outstanding individual performances in that match for the Tuskers, including Carl Nipper's 74 not out. Now, over the top it goes. That will be a boundary for Yuri Sneyman. Well played by the left-hander. Averages 27 with bat and ball in 37 T20 matches. And that's the end of Erlank's over. It might be the last one that he bowls in the match. We'll have to wait and see. So 3 overs gone, 15 for 2. Going along at 5 and over, but they've lost 2 wickets. Badaza will continue. And if nothing goes horribly wrong, you can expect Badaza to bowl through his full 4 overs. That's what he did against the Inyati. He bowled 3 in a row against the Heat. And he's clearly in a good space at the moment. And as I say that, he bowls a wide. Commentator's curse. So Badaza, born in Grahamstown, went to Woodridge College and played for Eastern Province in the Kayamajola week back then. He's 31 years old now. Early hero was Lomwabo Satsoba, who opened the bowling for the Proteas on many occasions in one-day cricket. And it has been very interesting to see that nobody has really taken on Badaza in the 3 home games. Even though he's bowled a very full length, you would expect to see him driven a lot, but it's that swing that he gets with the new ball that makes it a difficult prospect, and it's that swing that brought him the wicket in the previous over of Zonalela Yika. In the air and a couple of bounces down to third man. That was a little bit of a swipe against the wide ball. And that'll bring Yuri Sneeman back on strike. Third season with the Rhinos. Slip in place now for the left-hander. Oh, there were shouts of catch there, and Carl Nipper was inside the circle at fine leg. He was never going to get there, but he made sure that there wasn't a run, and the ball bouncing just in front of the veteran. That's what you hope for when you bring fine leg off the boundary, that it doesn't go either side. So there is a third man and there is a deep backward square. Those are the boundary riders in this first power play, 17 for 2. Straight up in the air, he'll get away with it. And it might go all the way, yes. There was a little bit of spin on that ball that helped it go for 4, but Yuri Sneeman knows that he was well beaten by that. That's the third boundary of the afternoon. We've already had a 6 from the 9 striker, Karabo Makhotsi. We've got the trainer coming on. I'm not entirely certain why. See the fielder looking at his finger. Yeah, I didn't really see what the issue was there. So now we're ready to go again. Yuri Sneeman on strike. We've got 2 balls left in the 4th over, 21 for 2. That's nicely played. It's a much better shot than the one that went for 4. And this one is also going to go for 4 because there's a misfield there. Man chasing it was Chad Laycock, and he thought he'd got there, that the ball won the race. So a little bit of a recovery this for the Rhinos. They were 8 for 2 after 10 deliveries of the innings being put into bat by the Tuskers here in Pietermaritzburg at the ACDC Express Oval. They won't get the leg by because Nipper is inside the circle, so that's 4 overs gone. And that was a relatively expensive one with a couple of boundaries against Mpumalanga Budaza, but I don't expect him to be taken off. While the ball's swinging, it's his best chance of conserving runs and taking wickets. And we will see a bowling change. As expected, Mike Erlank is off, and on comes Mondley Kamalo. Young man schooled across the road at Maritzburg College, 23 years old now. And here he comes to bowl his first ball very full, and the half volley is punched away by Mokhotsi. He's played one poor shot, but everything else he's looked the part. As Karabo Mokhotsi began his career with Gauteng in his native Johannesburg. He's got a first-class double century to his name as Karabo Mokhotsi. Had 205 not out against Sri Lanka A. And as I sing his praises, that's a bit of a crude swing outside off stump. A little bit of bounce from Mondli Khumalo, who's not tall and has to bend his back to get anything out of this Maritzburg pitch. Oh, that's a gorgeous stroke. He saw the batsman go outside leg stump, giving himself room. Khumalo followed him, but Mokhotsi was good enough to adjust the stroke. The square drive for 4, as good as anything we've seen. He hit a drive on the up for 6 in the second over against Pudaza, but that square drive all the way along the ground was one for the purists. Beautifully played. So the Rhinos from 8 for 2 are now profiting 33 for 2 in the 5th. That's gone straight up in the air. Man under it will take this. Sean Gilson is under the ball. Oh, wow. Just gave it away. That's extraordinary. Mondli Khumalo makes the breakthrough. Mokhotsi was looking $1 million and then just played a crude swish that sent the ball straight up in the air. So Gilson takes the catch and Khumalo has the 3rd wicket. Mokhotsi gone for 19 off 13
straight up
balls.
in the air. Man under it will take this. Sean Gilson is under the ball. Oh.
And it is 33 for 3. And we're halfway through the 5th over. So just as the batting side were looking to settle, Yuri Snyman was playing some shots, not all of them out of the middle. Mokhotsi had raced along, found the boundary on 3 occasions and then just gave it away. Perhaps that tells you a little bit about the way the Rhinos have played in their campaign this year. That no result against Southwestern Districts. They lost by 18 runs to the Heat at home. Eastern Storm beat them by 23 and Limpopo by 19 runs on Saturday. New man at the crease. Khumalo has a slip in place now. Or bowled. And this looks like Benjamin van Niekerk. Well, yep, I can confirm that. Benjamin van Niekerk, new man at the crease, facing Mondli Khumalo. Oh, it's a gorgeous way to get off the mark. Through extra cover for 4. A long half volley from Khumalo, and that brings the 5th over to an end. It is 37 for 3. So the run rate is okay, but they've lost 3 wickets and they just can't afford to keep losing wickets, particularly in the power play when
It's a
you
gorgeous
really want to
way
be
to get off the
taking a full
mark.
toll
Through extra cover for 4.
of a
A
field
long
that can
half
only have
volley
2 men on the boundary.
from Khumalo.
So a long chat between Van Niekerk and Snyman in the middle. Snyman will face now. Badaza will continue to bowl his third over now. Well, he's picked his spot straight back over the bowler's head. One bounce for, lovely stroke from Yuri Snyman, and he's obviously not going to die wondering. So I was mentioning earlier that nobody had really taken on Badaza this season, but Yuri Snyman looks as if he fancies the task. It's a little bit easier for the left-handers against Badaza's full length,
he's picked his
the ball
spot
is
straight
swinging
back over
away, and you've got a little bit of space, whereas for the right-handers, that late swing back into the pads is always a problem against a left-handed seamer. And well, there's the response from Badaza. It's not called a wide, although it was a very short bouncer that went high over the batsman's head, but he gets away with it. And that's an attempt to just keep the batsman from planting the front dog and swinging through the line. Let's see whether it has an effect. In the air, there is a man back there, but he's not going to get there. That's 4, backward of square on the onside for Yuri Snyman. So that's his 4th boundary already. Snyman has raced to 21 off 13 deliveries.
There is a man back there, but he's not going to get there.
That's another cracking stroke. Too short, a little bit of width, and the left-hander has thrashed that one onto the bank next to the scoreboard for 4 more. So this might be the last we see of Badaza for a while. 3 boundaries in the over, and the bouncer hasn't really done its job.
Another cracking stroke.
Is picking up the ball
Too
early.
short, a little bit of width.
Scoring on both sides of the wicket. 25 off 14 now for the former captain. And that's going to bring a change in the field. Mike Erlang comes across and says, right, let's push mid-on back to long on and bring third man into the circle. And then we've got square leg on the boundary. It should just be a single. Erlang does the needful. So 1 ball left to get out of this over for Badaza. He's gone for 13. That brings up the 50 with a ball left in the power play. And Benjamin van Niekerk takes strike. 28-year-old right-hander. Good player looking at his stats. Averages 30 in 18 T20s with a strike rate of 140. And he's ahead of that already because it is first ball for 4. Very nearly holed out to his second ball. That is the end of the over. I suspect that Badaza will be given a rest after that third over.
Ahead of that already because it is first
Now,
ball for
power
4.
play out of the way. Captain has a little bit to play with. And coming into the attack is Ziad Abrams to bowl from the doozy end. The 27-year-old nephew of my good friend Shafiq, who played for South Africa in the early 90s. And bowled very tidy spin and batted in the lower order for Eastern Province for many, many years. his cousin travelled the distance on Saturday, but did pick up a couple of wickets, which is what he does. He's beaten the outside edge first ball. Yuri Snyman is not here to hang around. 50 for 3. He's got 26 off 16, and the run rate is 8.1. So if the wickets column read 0, you'd say that this was a great start from Mpumalanga, but they've lost 3 men already. Oh, and that's beautifully bowled. That actually looked as if it shaped away from the left-hander. Just nipped off the seam, maybe. Good length. And Snyman looking to crash it through extra. So he's played and missed at the first 2 balls. That's a great way to keep the run rate down for the bowling side. I must say he looks in rich form, does Yuri Snyman. That comes straight out of the middle of the bat. Played a club season in England this year with Accrington, up there in the frozen north of Britain. Got 1,100 runs and 48 wickets, so Accrington will be very happy to have him back. In the air, but there is no mid-on. Long on is Sean Gilson. And the single will put Van Niekerk on strike. That'll bring a change in the field. Long on comes in to a 1 saving position now. We've got 5 men saving 1. That's gone over the head of mid-off, and it'll go all the way for 4. So Van Niekerk has made a very good start. That's his second boundary in 4 deliveries faced. That brings another change in the field. So mid-off goes back to long off. Fine leg comes inside the circle. And we've got a deep backward square. We've got cover point on the boundary and a 3rd man. And as I say that, mid-on goes back to long on. And we'll field this. So that's the end of Ziad Abraham's first over. 56 for 3 from 7. The Rhinos. The run rate at a solid 8. And it is one of those cricketing scenarios where very quickly the euphoria of the 3 early wickets will fade away if this 4th wicket partnership continues the way it's going at the moment. Mondli Khumalo has changed ends. He will replace Umbalelo Badaza at the Hewlett's end, and he's now just got the regulation 4 men saving 1. Everybody else is on the boundary. Lovely to see him playing cricket again after that horrible attack on him in England a couple of years ago. Left him in a coma. I was watching him warm up, and you can see the scar where they had to do brain surgery on him. And here he is back playing top-level cricket. Lovely to see. That's a gorgeous stroke from Van Niekerk. Well, I must say, Van Niekerk and Yuri Snyman have batted as if they didn't have a care in the world. And even with 5 men on the boundary, nobody was going to stop that. Mondley will be a bit disappointed that he couldn't stop that run. And that'll bring the left-handed Sneeman back on strike. Right-left combination. And big changes in the field every time they take a single. You won't see too many threes on this ground. That's well bowled. So Sneeman on 27 off 20 deliveries. Van Niekerk 14 off 8. Partnership is already worth 28. A little bit of a slog. Ball wasn't quite there for the shot. Ziad Abrahams comes round the boundary to do the fielding. Ball left in the over. It's been a tidy over. And just the single to keep the strike for Sneeman. So 8 gone, 64 for 3. The Rhinos put into bat. Tuskers captain Mike Erlang winning the toss. So thanks for joining us wherever you are streaming. Remember, there's a full day of cricket ahead with 3 evening games around the country to follow the afternoon matches. Go to cricket.co.za if you want to find out what's going on in the South African game. And remember, if you're a student and you attend a game, you automatically have a chance to win 100,000 rands to help you with your education fees. How about that? Just by turning up, you can have that chance. Ziad Abrahams bowling to Benjamin Van Niekerk. Yeah, it does look good. Van Niekerk from the moment that he came in. Went to HTS Middelburg, which gave us the great Bakkies Boerta. The fierce heat of the day is being mitigated a little now by some cloud cover, which will perhaps help the ball to move a little bit in the air, and that's well bowled by Abrahams. I think he might have seen Sneeman coming and dropped it short. Signed this season, Abrahams. He's playing in the SA20, and he's a bit of a specialist finisher. That's well fielded, as that was travelling. Sean Whitehead, the man in the way. And Yuri Sneeman will be distressed that he didn't make more of that. It was short enough to go out of the ground. This time he has picked his gap. That is 4. A little bit too short from Abrahams, and Sneeman was waiting on the back foot. So he moves up to 35, and he's got his runs very rapidly. So this is danger time for the Rhinos. They made those early breakthroughs. It was 8 for 2 and then 33 for 3. But this pair have very rapidly put on 37. Slower ball and a good way to get out of the over for Abrams. 9 gone then. 70 for 3. The current rate's 7.8. And where we are in the competition now, the Tuskers having to chase will be feeling the pressure. They know they have to win this game because they've got to play the log-leading Storm in Benoni on Saturday, and they want to go there in the knowledge that they could lose and still host a home semi-final. That will of course depend on other results, but going into this game against an Mpumalanga Rhinos team who haven't won a match this season, the Tuskers would have been targeting it. Now it looks like Sean Gilson coming into the attack from the Hewlett's end to bowl his off spin. The Michael House boy. And bowls tidy off spin, but I expect to see him taken on by these two. Field is scattering to all parts. We've got 3 men on the offside for the right-hander, saving 1. Fine leg inside the circle is the only man saving 1 on the onside. Beats the outside edge first ball. A little bit of turn there for Gilson. Came up the N3 from the Dolphins to get a bit more cricket this season. That'll be a bye, I fancy. See what the umpire says. Looks, there must have been a nick on it of some description. It's gone down as a run. 71 for 3. We are halfway through the 10th over. Gilson will now go round the wicket to the left-hander. 3 men on the offside, saving 1. Short fine leg. So free hit into the onside. But Gilson's doing an excellent job here. Oh, is it a no ball? No. Thought I saw the arm go out there. Umpires for this game, incidentally, Mohammed Juma standing at the moment, and his colleague is Yuri Sadler. Match referee is Gerry Pienaar, great servant of South African cricket. That's a good shot, and it is brilliantly fielded. Fielder has done himself a mischief in the process of hauling that one in. So they come back for 2. That's a really good over from Gilson. It went for just 3 runs. It means at the halfway point, it's 73 for 3. And the run rate has come down. It was at 8.2. It's now down to 7.3. But you will find that on this pitch at the ACDC Express Pietermaritzburg Oval. As the white ball gets a little bit older, doesn't come onto the bat quite as well. But as I mentioned, whatever total the Rhinos get here, the pressure is going to be on the Tuskers to chase. And they would dearly love to break this partnership, which is now worth 40. And that has come up in 6.2 overs. Sean Whitehead back into the attack to bowl his slow left arm for Nickirk on strike. Good all-round cricketer, Sean Whitehead. It's got some important runs already this season, but this is what he does best. Slow left arm, and when in the air, he's picked the gap though between the two boundary riders in front of the pavilion, and that's gone for 4. Bad ball, really, too short. Got what it deserved. And Benjamin van Niekerk continuing to impress. The 28-year-old right-hander. That's also too short. They might think about 2 here. No, good piece of fielding from Ziad Abrams. He was off his boundary very quickly there to make sure it was 1 and not 2. So halfway through the over, 5 off it. Outstanding opening over from Whitehead from this end. Picked up the wicket. It's 1 more, so the wickets to fall. First to go was the captain, Mohamed Mayet, LBW, to first ball of, I think it was second ball actually, of the over. And Nonalela Yika was bowled by Badaza, good Yorker, and Yika gone for a golden duck. That was 8 for 2. And then after a bright innings, Mokhotsi caught Gilson, bowled Kamalo 19 off 13 balls, was just starting to really dominate, and then gave it away. Hit one straight up in the air, caught it mid-on. So that's a pretty good over from Sean Whitehead. It included the boundary, but it's only gone for 7. 80 for 3 now from 11 overs. And Sean Gilson will continue from the Hewlett's end. Above me, the afternoon flight from Johannesburg landing at Pietermaritzburg Airport. Should push for 2 here. For Niekerk, taps and goes, no problem. It's getting a little bit murky. Cloud cover coming across the oval. That's gone a long, long, long way. And bounces off the bucket seats back onto the ground. Second maximum of the innings. Van Niekerk has got the bit between his teeth here. And this partnership is proving to be a problem for the home side. 88 for 3 now. Partnership comes, the 50 partnership comes up with that hit. 55 it's worth now. And a couple more. No, Ziad Abrams does well to keep it to a single. He's very fleet of foot around the boundary, the 27-year-old. And that will bring Yuri Sneeman back on strike. So this partnership racing along. They've added that 55 in under 7 overs. This one's gone out towards the tree and Abrams can't get there. And if you were watching that and it looked a little bit lazy, what you probably can't see on your screen is that there is a white line which is on the wicket side of the tree. Now, ordinarily in first-class cricket, that tree is in play, but for T20 cricket, they've drawn a line around it, so although Ziad Abrams got close, he was never going to stop that 4. teeing off now. This partnership, which is worth 59, sorry, worth 60. That's another maximum, and he's got all of that. That one's gone towards the road, and it might be a while before it comes back. So this is a really fruitful stand between Van Niekerk and Snyman. It takes the score to 99 for 3 after 12 overs. And we got a bowling change. A little bit of discussion now about who's going to bowl next. Carl Nipper hasn't bowled yet. I fancy he might come on from the Hewlett's end. Whitehead is going to continue from the Doozy end. So no change. But there will be an alteration in the field. So effectively 3 men on the offside saving one, short fine leg. And here is Nipper coming off the boundary. He will do well to keep that to a single. So we've got 3 men on the boundary between square leg and long on. And we've got 2 men on the other side. That will change now and go the other way for the left-hander. So deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on. Cover on the boundary, long off. Snowman just a little bit defeated in the flight there. But what we're seeing here is that there's nothing wrong with this pitch. And the Tuskers put up a good total in their game here on Saturday. There's no reason they can't chase pretty much whatever the Rhinos set them. The 100 came up with that previous delivery, by the way. We're halfway through the 13th over. It's now 101 for 3. And what the Tuskers need to do is just cut down the boundary hits. Chasing around the outfield and keeping that to 1. That's excellent work. And that was Tabiso and Leila doing good work on the boundary. That's well bowled. It's a good, intelligent over this from Whitehead, which is not to say that he's going to get out of it. He's still got a ball to come. Snowman is looking for a boundary. Well, it doesn't get one, and that really is an excellent over from Whitehead, keeping things under control for his team, and that will bring up Snowman's 50. Excellent half century from the former captain Yuri Snowman. Brings up his 50 off the last ball of the 13th over. I think it came in 40 deliveries. Current run rate now back up towards that 8 mark, 7.9. 7 wickets in hand with 7 overs to go means that they can pretty much swing at everything. Ziad Abrahams is going to change ends and come in from the Hewlett end to bowl to Snowman. And the Tuskers just looking a little flat in the field. You can understand why. Made the perfect start, 8 for 2, then 33 for 3, and now this pair have put on 70. And they are racing along. Projected score from here is 158. Oh, that is very well done by Mike Erlang, who I think saw his past life flashing before his eyes, because at the edge of the square on both sides there's just a little trench, and if the ball hits that, it can go anywhere, and He did very well to keep the family jewels out of the way of that. That's a good shot. Possibility of 2 here, and Leila has fumbled on the boundary, so they will get back for that 2, no problem. So Snyman getting his 50 off 39 balls, now faced 40 for 52. For Nikuk, 33 off 22. And since these two came together, it's looked a very different game. It's well struck, but easily fielded. Good applause from the pavilion for that piece of fielding. Tuskers, of course, not helped by the right-left combination. They don't want to be chasing 160, but that's the way it's looking at the moment. Oh, he's got him! Caught behind! Yuri Snyman walks just as they were at that stage where they desperately needed a wicket. They've got one. Snyman gone for 53 off 41, and it's 107 for 4. So that's a really good hand from Snyman. Wicket keeper Ntando Zuma made no mistake with the catch. And Snyman's 53 off 42, 107 for 4. With a ball left in the 14th over. And that partnership worth 74 runs really transformed the game. New man coming to the crease is Dukes gets underway. That the Rhinos feel they've got a chance here, and there's absolutely no reason not to go down swinging. And that will end the over. A successful one from Ziad Abrahams. He's got rid of the very dangerous Yuri Snyman for an excellent half-century. But now Dukes is coming to join the impressive for Nikuk and gets underway with a boundary first ball. Sean Whitehead is going to continue. This will be his final over, his 4th. Has given his captain excellent control this afternoon. 6 overs left in the innings. Zuma takes the bails off. It's unavailing. Umpire Juma says no, made his grounded. That's what can be done when you know that it's 2 from the moment you've hit the ball. Good piece of feeling on the boundary by Ndle. I haven't seen Carl Nipper bowl yet, which is surprising. I wonder whether he might... Oh, big shout for LBW, not given. They come to... against 2 right-handers who are looking to launch. Okay, he's given the ball to Mondley Khumalo. I thought it was a little bit of an ambitious tactic to bring himself on at this stage. So Khumalo to bowl his medium pacers. And this is Gareth Dukes on strike, who, of course, was a regular here at the Pietermaritzburg Oval for the Tuskers for many years. Will not get 2. That's outstanding fielding. Not just the ground coverage, but how quickly the ball was released. And that'll bring Vernicker back into strike. I say the two middle order batters, Snyman and Vernicker, have both look quality players. Snyman gone now for an excellent half century. Vernicker has not let the grass grow under his feet. Duke's on strike now. That's a big hit. There's a man there. It's over his head. Sean Gilson got very close, but the ball was always going to win. That's the third maximum of the innings. And Gareth Dukes has come in and played like a millionaire, which is what you can do when you're on the back of a 74-run partnership of much better than a run a ball. The outcome of this match. Oh, they've come a long way down and sent back is Dukes. It's a good recovery from Kumalo. Tucked his man up a little bit. Pressure can do terrible things to people. And if the Tuskers were chasing 140, I think they'd be very comfortable. Chasing 160, different prospect. Slower ball, and he's got it away for 4. Didn't get all of it, but picked the gap. Last ball of the over coming up. Dukes is now 16 off 7 deliveries. Against his old side, enjoying himself. And he will steal the strike with a good little push and run. So 130 for 4 with 4 overs remaining. Projected score now 162, which is not necessarily a winning score. Remember the game on Saturday, Tuskers won the toss and chose to bat on that occasion and posted 170 for 3. Carl Nipper made an excellent 74 not out off just 44 deliveries, and John T. Rapalana made 48, and that proved to be 26 runs too many for the Northern Cape Heat. So that projected score is a good one, but not necessarily a winning one. Now, as I suggested, Carl Nipper is coming on, and his captain will be hoping that he's going to give him enough control to bowl the last 2 overs at this doozy end, replacing Sean Whitehead. Nipper, the 36-year-old, he's now the master in charge of cricket at Pietermaritzburg. Well, the shout from the keeper was, I think, to try and stop them taking the leg by. It didn't work. They got the leg by. So that will bring Vernicker onto strike. Now, Nipper's got 3 men saving 1 on the offside. That's gone straight up in the air. There's a man chasing it. He's not going to get there for the catch, but Erlang gets the throw in and keeps them down to 2. Yeah, those 3 men could almost touch each other, saving one on and behind square on the offside. One more. That's well placed. That'll go for 4. Good shot. Oh, don't forget that the Women's T20 World Cup is ongoing in the UAE. Proteas Friday is back. Let's paint the nation green and gold every Friday and stand behind the Proteas women. They had a fantastic opening win against the West Indies. That's well bowled by Nipper. Just think from Ziad Abrams comes back into the attack from the Hewlett's end. Speaking of Our Lady, make sure you get out and support. A ball, but it's beaten them. The boundary rope and edge, and it's gone over. Lost their next 3 games. That's well struck, and he has picked his spot. Really good shot. Really good shot. Gareth Dukes has been excellent since he came in. And Umbelelo Budaza still got 4 balls left in his allocation. He got 1 for 36, and first time this season he's been taken to task, really. Dukes has now got 30 off 17 balls. Oh, he's hit his partner. Oh, that's the unkindest cut of all because he's hurt him. Oh dear. Benjamin van Niekerk just couldn't get out of the way, and that is sore. Not exactly sure where it hit him, but the trainer has come sprinting on like Usain Bolt. He'll have a little bit of magic spray. I got a feeling it was in the ribs. I hope it wasn't a little bit lower. I don't think it was because he's on his feet. And that's one of those things where the fielding side is very delighted to have a 12th fielder in the non-striking batsman because that had 4 runs written all over it. So Van Niekerk has had a little bit of magic spray and he's going to be okay. Gareth Dukes will go back to the striker's end. And we've got 9 balls left in the innings, 158 for 4. And the fielding side will be absolutely delighted that that was a dot ball. Benjamin van Niekerk has just rolled his trousers down just to check that everything's in place. He's all right. Scattered his kit right, left and centre. Back goes the helmet, back go the gloves, a little nod to the bowler, thank you very much sir, and away we go. You'll be keeping an eye on the batsman this time. That's well bowled. Yeah, I think the umpire looks at the shot and says, well, if you'd stayed where you were, I might have given it wide, but you didn't. You turned around and tried to hit it left-handed, and as a result of that, that is not a wide. So 2 dot balls in a row from Budaza. Excellent comeback from him. 2 balls left in his allocation. Slower ball is whipped away and caught on the boundary. Excellent catch there. Gareth Dukes has gone for a very well made 30. 30 off 19 deliveries. It's 158 for 5. And that comes with a ball left in the 19th over. Man on the boundary who took that catch and did such an excellent job was Chad Laycock. So that pair, without me realizing it, I put on a very rapid 50. 51 was the stand in 5 overs. So they went at 10 and over together. New batsman coming to the crease is Herman Rolfs, right-hander. This is Bedaza's last ball. He's got 2 for 36. Is that a wide? Yes, it is. He'll have to bowl another one. It looked like it went down the red guideline from where I'm sitting, but the umpire's got a much better view than I have. Let's see if this can be the last ball of the 19th. Yes, it can. Sliced away. Should only be worth 1. Yep, that's what will happen. So Bedaza finishing with 2 for 38 from his 4 overs. He'll be a little bit disappointed at his bowling today in comparison to what's gone before, but he has picked up the 2 wickets. One with the new ball and one with the old ball. It looks like Mondley Khumalo will bowl the last over. Herman Rolfs on strike. Rolfs is from Pretoria. Went to Affies, in fact captained Affies, and played for SA under-19s, for whom he scored 100 against New Zealand. So he can hold the bat. Khumalo to bowl the last over. That'll be 4 for Rolfs. Khumalo just losing his shape a little bit there. A free hit with fine leg inside the circle. Disappointment for the Tuskers. That's not the way they wanted to start the final over. Takes a lot of pressure off the batting side when they get a boundary first up. And with 5 wickets in hand, they can afford to really thrash about them off the last 5 deliveries. This is character building stuff for Mondley Khumalo. This is his 4th over. Chance of 2 here. Long chase for the man at long on, but no, they decide to stay at 1. So that'll bring Benjamin van Niekerk on strike within a single of his half century, and he really deserves it. Played excellent cricket. And he's got it away. Should only be 1. Yep. Again, excellent ground fielding coming off the boundary. But the 50 comes up off 34 deliveries for Ben van Niekerk.
And they're bringing up the 50 from van Niekerk.
Oh, they've gone for the bye, and they've got the bye. It was an excellent stop, first of all, from Ntando Zuma. He couldn't quite find the stumps with the throw from the kneeling position. Very important bye, because it means that Van Niekerk is on strike for the last 2 deliveries. Well bowled by Mondley Khumalo. followed the batsman as he tried to give himself room. 167 for 5. That's come out of the middle and it's gone for 4. That's a really top shot from Van Niekerk. 54 off 35 for him now. And it's taken the score past that 170 mark that I was talking about, which was what the Tuskers scored here on Saturday against the Northern Cape Heat. So they're going to have to score their highest total of the season if they're going to win this game from here against an Mpumalanga Rhinos side who are winless from 4 before today. Well bowled by Khumalo. That's only worth 1. Van Niekerk will finish on 55 off 36. And the total 172 for 5 from 20 overs being put into bat. So 173 required at 8.7 is the target for the Tuskers. Khumalo finished with 1 for 42. The other bowlers who bowled 4. Sean Whitehead 4 overs, 1 for 17, really excellent today. Ziad Abrahams 4 overs, 1 for 28, and Umbulelo Guadaza 4 overs, 2 for 35. So the Tuskers know what they have to do. 173 required in the chase. Excellent half centuries for the Mpumalanga Rhinos from Yuri Snyman, 53 off 42, and Benjamin Van Niekerk, 55 off 36. If the Tuskers are going to win this game, they've got to score their highest total of the season. And we will take a short break now. The light roller is coming on. We'll be back with the chase. Used to be 21. Now he's 1. Right. Let me know when I can go. Live? Welcome back to the ACDC Express Pietermaritzburg Oval, where the home side, the KZN Inland Tuskers, are chasing a very large score to win. They need 173 after winning the toss and putting the Mpumalanga Rhinos into bat, and the Rhinos finished with 172 for 5. The Rhinos are going to open the bowling with the former Tuskers player Gareth Dukes, who beats the bat with his first ball. Gareth Dukes smacked a very impressive 30 in that chase, or rather setting a target, and put on 51 for the 5th wicket with Ben van Niekerk, who finished 55 not out off 36 balls, 6 fours and a 6. Man facing is Cameron Shackleton, and he's away. That's a good shot. Got over the bounce of the ball very nicely, and Rapalana will jog back for 2 to the non-striker's end, and so the chase is underway. 173 to win, and a very important chase this for the Tuskers. They've only got 1 match remaining after this one, and that is against the table-topping Eastern's Storm in Benoni on Saturday, which very possibly will decide who tops the table after log play. Oh, they've gone for a quick single there, and that's very well done. Shackleton and Rapalana with a good understanding. And I'll go through that scorecard for you during the course of this over. It was a superb start for the Tuskers. They had the first 2 batsmen out for a duck, and it was 8 for 2 after 10 deliveries in the innings. Mohammed Mayet, the captain of the Rhinos, was LBW to Sean Whitehead without scoring. That was 1 for 1, and then Nonalena Iyika was bowled by Umbalelo Budaza for a golden duck, 8 for 2 after 1.4 overs. And then Karabo Mokhotsi, having made 19 very rapidly and hit some quality strokes, including a 6-over point, holed out to mid-on. Caught Gilson, bowled Kamalo for 19. That's a great shot from Rapalana. Might not go all the way. There's a very good chase out by Mohammed Mayet, the captain of the Rhinos. He keeps them down to 2. And 1 ball left in this opening over. So 33 for 3 were the Rhinos after 4.4 overs. And at that stage, you wouldn't have given them a prayer to get 172. But a partnership of 74 for the 4th wicket between Yuri Snyman and Ben van Niekerk set up what ended as a very good score. A little bit of a misfield means that they can get through for a single, so 6 runs off the first over, and the Tuskers will be relatively happy with that, even though it does push them a little bit further behind the run rate. The required rate now 8.8. So Snowman eventually was caught Dukes, bowled Abrahams for 53 off 42 deliveries with 8 fours and a 6, and he really did play a top draw innings, did the left-hander. Looked in form from the moment that he came to the crease. And then Gareth Dukes put on 50 with Ben van Niekerk before he was caught Laycock on the boundary off the bowling of Budaza for 30. And that was 158 for 5. For Nickett, finished 55 not out off 36 balls, 6 fours and a 6. And Herman Rolfs was 6 not out alongside him, 172 for 5. And I will go through the bowling figures during the course of this over. So the Tuskers chasing 173, 6 without loss off the first over. Big shout for LBW, the finger doesn't go up. Sounded as if there might have been a nick there. So although there was a big shout from John Hinrichsen, it's not answered in the affirmative. Hinrichsen, the bowler from the Doozy end, 25-year-old medium pacer, and schooled at Nelspruit School. And there's a school that has produced many great sportsmen. A bit of pace from Hinrichsen, into the gap by Rapalana. They think of 2, they will get 2. So here comes Hinrichsen. Oh, beats the outside edge with a bit of pace and a bit of away movement. So I would imagine, being an Nelspruit boy, that his hero would be Dale Steyn, Palabora Express, who went to that school. Nelspruit would, and he'd like to be able to bowl as quick and as consistently, of course, as Steyn, I mean. The other man I always think of at that school is Dwayne Vermeulen, World Cup winning Springbok, and Rassie Erasmus in 2019, and now part of the coaching team. So Cameron Shackleton back on strike. We've got 2 deliveries left in the second over. By this stage of the Rhinos innings, they were already 2 down. So small mercies for the Tuskers, chasing this big score of 172 for 5. It's well bowled by Hinrichsen and well played by Shackleton. Nice straight bat. Really important when you're chasing a big score to get away to a solid start. These days in 20 over cricket, almost anything can be chased in the second half of an innings if you've got wickets in hand. So the Rhinos have got 4 men saving 1 and a slip on the offside, mid-on, fine leg inside the circle. And that is going down to third man, man under it, and dropped it. It's gone for 4. Wow, that's a horrible way to begin the innings for poor Temba Maupa. Down on the third man boundary. He didn't have to move, the ball came straight to him, and it went through his hands and over the boundary. And noticeable that Yuri Sneyman ran all the way down to third man to commiserate and just bring him back up and remind him that just because he's dropped a catch doesn't mean he's not part of the game. And it's good cricket from Yuri Sneyman. So Temba Maupa, the man who put the catch down. Rapalana came back for the second but didn't need to because it had crossed the line for 4. That was the last ball of the second over. So 14 without loss, the Tuskers, as Gareth Dukes starts his second over. Now I was going to give you bowling figures. The 4 players who bowled 4 overs all took at least 1 wicket. Probably the best. Then Mondley Kamalo, also expensive, 1 for 44. That's a great shot from Jonty Rapalana, and that is 4. Rapalana in good form, made 48 in the game here on Saturday, and put together a match-winning partnership with Carl Nipper. Nipper finished 74 not out. And Rapalana's 48 was off 42 deliveries, so he's in form. And he'll know the bowling of Gareth Dukes well. The pair would have played against each other in the nets here many occasions. They scamper through for a leg bye. Dukes misses the stumps at the non-striker's end by a country mile. It's 20 without loss with that leg bye. 3 bowlers who didn't bowl 4 overs. Mike Erlank, his over went for 7. Carl Nipper's over went for 8. Really didn't understand why Nipper didn't bowl more. Only came on to bowl the 16th over of the innings. And then Sean Gilson, 2 overs for 22. Solid start for the Tuskers as they chase 173. The 2 boundary fielders quite close together on the onside. Man racing in for that one was Junior Makua. And he is on the square leg boundary. And we've got a very square mid-wicket on the boundary. No run. Very loud and early call from Rapalana. Well, it was looking a little bit grim here during the break between innings, but the sun has come through the clouds again, and it's a much better afternoon. Almost seemed as if well, if it had been a first-class match, I think we would have been off for bad light, with the possibility of a little bit of drizzle, but I think that's gone now. That's a good shot from Rapalana. He got his body out of the way and managed to get the bat on the ball. Whacks it away for 4. It's the shot of a confident man, a man in form. 3 overs gone, 25 without loss, and they're keeping up with that run rate, which at the start of the innings was 8.7, and that's where it is now.
148 needed out of 17 overs.
So a further 148 needed from 17. And 3 overs left of the power play. Henriksen to bowl again. Oh, Shackleton's hit it onto his instep. So hobbles down to the non-striker's end. And that is over the head of mid-off for 4. 1 bounce for. Lovely stroke from Rapalana. He goes to 22 off just 13 deliveries. There were times during his 48 on Saturday where he just didn't quite look at ease, even though he was making runs. But he certainly looks good at the top of the innings here, striking the ball well. That'll be 4 more. Once again, hit with tremendous power by Rapalana. Man they called Jonty went to Jeppy. Actually made his first-class debut for the Lions way back in 2011, alongside Keaton Jennings. The test matches for England. Made sure he picked the gap, and that is 3 successive boundaries for Jonty Rapalana. And a really good hand he's playing now. Huge applause coming from the pavilion. This is the big over at the top of the innings in the power play that all sides hope for. Just takes a little bit of the pressure off, because you know that you've only got 3 instead of 2. There's another good. Means that he took 20 personal runs off that over. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And they've brought the requirement down under 8 to 7.9. Long way from being done and dusted, but that's what you want from your top order. Got a bowling change. Coming into the attack is Junior Makua, 23-year-old, bowls slow left arm. He has got a fielder at long off and another one at deep mid-wicket. Everybody else is saving a single, including fine leg inside the circle. So anything over the infield is probably 4. That's well fielded. Junior Makua didn't play in the last game for the Rhinos. And there is deep mid-wicket, making that into a single. Fielded down there by Nonalele Yika, who will still be hurting for his golden duck. Clean bowl by Mbalelo Badaza. Now, time to batten down the hatches for the fielding side, because Rapalana is on strike. He's made 38 off 17. Long off comes up to mid off. That's well bowled. And now we've got a long on and a deep mid wicket. Good over so far from this young man. He's picked the gap. That's 4. Lovely stroke from Jonty Rapalana. He cannot be bowled to today. This is by some distance his most impressive batting of the season. Cameron Shackleton comes all the way down the pitch for a word. That has brought up the 50. 51 without loss after 4.4 overs. A perfect start for the Tuskers. One more. That's well run. And I would imagine that that's exactly what Cameron Shackleton whispered in his ear. If it's not there for the stroke, just tip and run. And Shackleton back on strike. He's only faced 9 balls for his 8 runs. One more. Fielded by Herman Rolfs. And that is the end of a tidy over. Gave up the boundary, but other than that, just singles for Junior Makua. So 5 overs gone, 53 without loss, cruising along at 10.6 and now requiring only 8 and over. At this stage, the Rhinos were 37 for 3. But it was at this stage that they started the partnership that ensured that they got a really good total of 172 for 5 with half centuries from Yuri Sneeman and Benjamin van Niekerk. Now we've got another bowling change at the far end. Nonalela Yika is coming on. The bowl is off breaks. And this is the last over of the power play. I think you can imagine that these two are going to take him on. That one's halfway down, and that's 4. Shackleton didn't really have to do very much other than put bat to ball there. Poor delivery. Yika's career has developed from days when he was a frontline spinner to the situation where he's become more of an occasional spinner and a top order batsman. That's another good stroke, and that'll be 4 more. And Shackleton is getting into the act now. That takes it to 61 without loss. And that's not how anybody wants to start an over. 2 boundaries, 1 square, 1 straight. Overcompensating for the short ball by pushing up the half volley. Now the sun shines brightly now. Chance of 2 here. Rapalana is very rapid, and they jog through for 2. 10 off 3 balls in this over, and the previous over went for 21. So this is an innings defining moment in the match. Shackleton was teeing off there. He's beaten the infield, and once it's through, there's no coming back. So that's 13 off 4 balls in this over. Change of line. He's going over the wicket now. I'm not entirely certain why he went round the wicket. In the air and gone. He's holed out. That's a silly way to get out when you've been so dominant at the crease. And the Rhinos have their breakthrough. Cameron Shackleton caught it mid-off. Off the bowling of Nonalela Yika, and Shackleton gone for 23 off 14. It's 67 for 1. An unnecessary stroke, really. It was the last ball of power play. That's what would have been going through his mind. Let's make sure it goes to the boundary. Didn't get all of it, and hold out to mid-off. And I wonder whether Yika will look back on that over now and think, well, maybe I should have gone over the wicket from the start rather than round. So, new man at the crease, Carl Nipper, who is in wonderful form. He's got half centuries in his last 2 innings, both of them well better than a run a ball. He before that double 50, he got a first baller here a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure that will be in the back of his mind. He's got 1 ball to face in the power. Oh, in the air and safe. He's very nearly holed out. 2 extra cover there, and in the end it's a dot ball. 67 for 1 from 6. The target now is 106 from 14 at just over 7.5 and over required, and at this stage the Rhinos were 50 for 3. Bowling change now. Pietermaritzburg, the man who dropped that catch down at third man, he comes into the attack. Left arm medium pacer. He's going to go round the wicket. Temba grew up in Kimberley, 26 years old now, and he'll be bowling to Jonty Rapalana, who is looking at a very rapid half century. Oops, a daisy. That's a wide. A little bit of pace on it, and keeper did pretty well to bring it in, actually. That's where he wanted to bowl the first one, and that's actually quite well done. That wide Yorker that came into the game a few years ago, and it's a very successful form of bowling, but it demands a terrific amount of control from the bowler, and a little bit of luck as well, because the umpire is always in the game when you're bowling those wide Yorkers. The umpire's just had a little word with Maupa for running on the wicket. That's a good run. That'll take Rapalana to 44 off 23. So with the power play behind us, the fielders relaxed, just 4 men saving 1. Looks like for the new man, Kyle Nipper, they're just bringing in the extra man inside the circle for the left-hander. So there's a cover point, there's an extra and a mid-off. Cover on the boundary, and then wide open spaces behind square on the onside, which is where that ball has gone, but only for 1. Nipper's off the mark. So leaving aside the opening wide, it's actually been a reasonably impressive over this from Temba Maupa. And beats the outside edge. Well done. Looked as if it just held its line. Maybe hit the seam. Rapalana looking to hit it through extra. Got nothing of it. So just 3 runs off this over, including a wide. That'll be 1 to deep square, and Rapalana will keep the bowling. 7 overs gone, 71 for 1 the Tuskers. They need a further 102 from 13 overs at 7.8. Currently going along at above 10. things will change now with the power play out of the way. And we've got a change of bowling at the far end. John Henriksen is coming back into the attack. And this is interesting because he was taken out of the attack after going for 5 successive fours against the man he's going to be bowling at again, Jonty Rapalana. But the difference this time is he's got an extra couple of men on the boundary. So Rapalana can't really just tee off, although there is plenty of space. There's a run virtually anywhere on the onside. The only man saving one is mid-on, who's on the edge of the circle. Rapalana, having set himself here, needs to play the big innings. It doesn't look to me as if he's thinking about that. He's playing a shotter ball, took that one off his chin for a single. Kyle Nipper back on strike. He's the key man for this Tuskers side. He's the one with all the experience, loves to bat, and if he plays like he played on Saturday, then they'll have no problem chasing this score. But it's still, even though they made a very, very good start, it's still a big chase. And he's gone, played on, hit the onside, hit the leg stump, and that is the end of Kyle Nipper for a single. So the Rhinos right back in the game with 2 wickets in the space of 2 overs. Nipper bowled by Henriksen for a single, and that is disappointing for the Tuskers. Sean Gilson replaces him. 72 for 2 in 7.2 overs. And I must say, it looks very much to me as if this game is going to go down to the wire. And the Tuskers need a partnership like the one that they had for the first wicket. So often, though, in the game of cricket, you get 1 wicket, you get 2. Sean Gilson takes strike. Bowled 2 overs of off spin today for 22 runs. And has looked in good form at the crease this year without turning that into a big score. Perhaps today's the day. Nice way to get off the mark. Little push through mid-wicket. A lot of good players like to start with exactly that sort of stroke. Get the feet moving, feel ball on bat. Big change in the field with the right-handed Rapalana coming back on strike. He's got 46 off 26 and should really now be looking to try and bat through the innings. And if he does that, his team should win. You'll notice how often he pulls the ball. Well, part of the reason for that is he's a short man, so he's always looking for a length short enough for him to play a cross-back shot. He's a very powerful square cutter as well. Doesn't score so many runs down the ground, but in this innings he has played 1 quality straight drive. Yuri Sneyman comes across from mid-off to chat to Henriksen, who is going to go round the wicket to the left-hander. That one looked as if it stayed down. Good comeback this from Henriksson after being destroyed in his previous over and taken out of the attack. He's been brought back while the ball is still new. And just looks as if he's nipping it around a little bit. Early call, and that's the end of Henriksson's over. 74 for 2 from 8, and the required rate ratcheting up now to 8.3. So 8 wickets in hand, 12 overs remaining, 99 required. I'm old enough to remember when that was a ridiculous target. You were never going to score it. So these days, 20 over cricket, 100 runs off the last 12 is fairly commonplace. What will dictate the terms is the fall of wickets and the amount of pressure that will be beginning to build on the batting side. Junior Temba Maupa, I beg your pardon, to Rapalana. Rapalana closing in on a half century. He got 48 in his last innings here, so I would imagine he would want to make sure of his half century before going all guns blazing again. Maupa to the left-hander, lots of space behind square on the onside. That'll be one. That's well bowled by Maupa. Looks tidy. He's got a little bit of pace. Deciding to go round the wicket right at the beginning of his stint. So he's obviously comfortable with that angle of attack. Sliced away, might go for 4. There is a man down there and he's done well. Just the single. That takes Rapalana to 49 of 30 deliveries. It's 77 for 2. 2 balls left in the 9th over. If you have nails, prepare to bite them. Remember that the Tuskers are second in the log at the moment, 3 wins from 4 games, and they finish on Saturday against the log leaders, the Storm, at Benoni. Whoa, that came out of the middle of the bat of Sean Gilson, but well fielded by Herman Rolfs. Last ball of the over. It's a crunching stroke for 1. Fielded by Dukes in the deep. 9 overs gone, 78 for 2. Tuskers chasing 173. So at one stage the run rate was up close to 11, and the required rate had come all the way down to about 7. It's now back up at 8.6, and the actual run rate that the batting team is going at is 8.7. So it is a new bowler. It is Herman Rolfs who has come into the attack, and what a way to be greeted. Whacked over mid-wicket by Sean Gill. Well, I suppose the left-hander would argue it was in the slot, it had to go. There was nobody straight on the boundary. So he had a good margin of error. They probably should have taken one there, but Gilson happy to retain the strike. Jonty comes down and has a word in his shell like. 84 for 2. Herman Rolfs, 25 years old, studying industrial engineering at Tuskers. Oh my word, oh that has gone miles over the pavilion and far, far away. That is an extraordinary hit, and it might take a while to get the ball back. So 6.6 in Herman Rolfs over, and Sean Gilson has started his innings in dynamic fashion. Just what his team needed, and they probably look at it as saying, well, we're only 2 down, we've got 10.5 overs remaining. What we don't want is to be putting pressure on the last 5 overs. Let's try and win it here and now. So calculated risk. The ball has been returned. And the score now 90 for 2. Herman Rolfs says a word with Yuri Sneyman. And that's well played by Gilson. No heroics, just put back to ball. They've taken 14 off 4 in this over. And now Rapalana is looking for a very fine 50 here. 49 is his highest score of the season, beating the 48 he made on Saturday. And there it is, just a little push into the onside, and the 50 for Rapalana coming up in 31 deliveries. And his captain will be trying to get a message to him that that's halfway, and he wants to see him there at the end of the innings. Gilson with another big hit. There is a man down on the boundary there. It is Junior Makua, and there is the end of over number 10, and a very important over for the home side there. They took 16 runs off it with 4 singles and 2 big hits for 6. Don't forget the catchphrase of the season is Wozanawe. The T20 knockout competition. Remember, there's the one-hand catch competition. You can win a share of R1 million if you're on a televised game. Sorry to tell you that streaming games like this one don't count. And India are coming here for a T20 tour in November. Watch out for that. 4 T20 matches. And the Proteas men are going to Sri Lanka for 2 tests and a full Pakistan tour to South Africa this summer. Pink Day, put it in your diary, is the 22nd of December. A 2 o'clock start at the Wanderers. The Proteas against Pakistan. Pink Day, of course, forever associated with the great A.B. de Villiers' heroics against the West Indies. So, coming back into the attack is Junior Makua. Tuskers coming back for 2, good running. Gilson looking good, 19 off 13. Oh, that'll be 4, I think. Not sure whether there was bat on it. There's a long chase down to the boundary, and it's a really good chase as well from Temba Maupa. They come back for 3. So he saved a single. It's wides, so there was no bat. And that ball will have to be bowled again. Rapalana making sure to get bat on ball, because that brings up the 100. 100 up halfway through the 11th over. It's a good sweep. Good technique there. Kept the ball all the way along the ground. After those 2 quick wickets of Cameron Shackleton and Carl Nipper, these 2 have looked very good again. Another right-left combination always makes it difficult for the bowlers. That's well bowled. Just a little bit quicker and flatter. End of the over, 102 for 2. 71 needed from 9. The required rate is still hovering around that 8 mark, 7.9. Where it's been for most of the match, actually, during the course of the important 4th wicket stand in the Rhinos innings. That's where it was around about. The last 9 overs. And I would say, when Mike Erlang won the toss earlier today, if you'd offered him 71 off 9 to win, he would have said thank you very much. But things can change as soon as a wicket or 2 falls. Looks like we've got Yuri Snyman coming into the attack to bowl his off breaks. Captain last season, and probably de facto captain of this side, because he's done a lot more talking than the man who is included in the side with the captaincy against his name, not just for this match but for the rest of the season as well, and that is Mohamed Mayet. It's the experience of this man Snowman that the Rhinos lean on during the course of the innings. So Snowman going round the wicket to the left-hander. The Rhinos need a couple of tidy overs here. Oh, that might have been a drop. Zakir Katrada behind the stumps. There was a big shout and the ball hit the gloves and went down. in the bat, and this time the bails do come off, but it's an unsuccessful stumping. Umpire Yuri Sadler was reluctant to come and get involved with repairing the furniture. Oh, this is really good bowling from Yuri Snowman. Just a single off his first 4 balls, and exactly the control that the Rhinos had lost and are looking to get back. Yeah, what a difference one tight over makes. Tuskers were looking well on top, and now suddenly Gilson's giving it the big heave against fairly unthreatening looking off spin. This time Yuri Sadler does come in and make sure that everything is where it should be. That's a good shot. They should push for 2 here. Rapalana would be going back to the danger end, but they decide against risking it. So that is a top over. 2 runs off it. 104 for 2 from 12, and now the target is 69 off 8, and that run rate has leapt up to 8.6. Nothing that a few boundaries can't change. Junior Makua is going to continue with his left arm spin. So Gilson on strike. He's just lost his fluency in that over from Snowman. You can get him out in circumstances like this. Comes down the pitch and makes sure of good contact. They think about 2. Yes, that's good running. Yuri Snowman is not the fleetest off the boundary. One more. Sean Gilson's got the broom out, sweeping everything. The throw from the boundary has made a wreckage of the stumps. Fortunately for the fielding side, it didn't then send the ball off towards the boundary for overthrows. 107 for 2. Rapalana on strike, 53 off 34 for him. Oh, there's a man there, Yuri Snowman, and he can't get under it, but he'll keep it down to 2. Wasn't a bad stroke from Rapalana, looking to place it rather than thrash it. Back for 2. Chance of 2 here. It's a long way off the boundary, but in the end, that's pretty good fielding from Karabo Makhotsi. Get the feeling he just held back a little bit to try and tempt them to go for the second, and then he was going to pounce. Yeah, well fielded. So 2 tight overs in a row from the Rhinos have sent the run rate rocketing, but that is beautifully placed from Sean Gilson, and you can hear the cries of encouragement coming from the grand old pavilion. That was a really important boundary off the last ball of the over, just to keep things on an even keel. So 8 wickets in hand. Target is 59 off 7 overs. Current run rate is 88, and the required is 8.8, and the required is 8.4. So they are very much where they need to be at this stage. This is where a wicket or two, or a boundary or three, can change the whole dynamic. Yuri Snyman will continue over the wicket to Rapalana. It's well bowled. It's a wily old bowler. My word, he batted well earlier today. Fine half century. Now this is one that you could turn into two. Rapalana goes for it and is home. This is where the boundary fielders need to anticipate. They've got to get out of the blocks early, otherwise it'll be 2-2-2. In the air and safe, there is a man on the cover boundary, so just one. Snyman is halfway through his second over. He's only conceded 5 from 9 deliveries. So with 2 balls left in this over, Rapalana has got to find a boundary to just ease the pressure a little bit. The run rate is now 8.6 required. Well bowled. Well bowled. Just, you see all the experience coming to bear. Snyman knows what's going on. Wait for a slog. There it is. There is a man inside the circle. It's a dot ball. That is 2 magnificent overs. The first one went for 2, the second for 4. So Snyman has bowled 2 overs for 6 with the chase on, and that over means that it's now 9.2 that the Tuskers require. 55 off 6, 8 wickets in hand. And coming on to bowl now is Temba Maupa, and I fancy that they might just target this over. They sure recognise the fact that they want to win this game early and not late. So Maupa will be going over the wicket to the left-handed Gilson. Glorious afternoon in Pietermaritzburg now. And for those that have come in, they're seeing a fantastic finish to this game of cricket. It could go either way. Now, that is in space, and it's 1 bounce 4. I was waiting for long on to come under that. There wasn't a long on. There was a deep mid-wicket who couldn't get there. So that's a boundary off the first ball, just to set the stall out. I thought they might target this over. I think you'll find that Gilson will just keep going now. 33 off 26 for him. Anything full. Well, that's beautifully out of the middle of the bat. Only worth 1. But 5 off the first 2 balls. That's perfect. could settle for a runner ball from here and get out of the over worth 9, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to look for the boundary. Yeah, that's well played. Got himself outside leg stump, looking for the big swish. Wasn't there for the shot, so just got bat on ball, take the single, let Gilson have a go. Gilson, the Michael House boy, signed for the Dolphins and has come up this season just to get a bit more cricket than he was getting for the Dolphins. Oh, he's gone for the big one, and he's found the gap. That's a good shot. I said he got the broom out, sweeps that ball away for 4. So 9 off 4. No change in the field. It's a free hit on the onside if you keep it on the ground. That'll be 1. Good comeback that from Maupa. Now Rapalana, 60 off 42. He's counting the fielders, making sure that he knows where everybody is. Last ball of the over. Can he find the boundary? He's gone for it. But just picked out the man at deep backward square, so just 1, but 12 off the over, and that's really good from the Tuskers. 2 boundaries, 4 singles, and not too many risks. So now they need 43 off 30. The rate is still 8.6. Jerry Snowman's going to bowl his 3rd. And this now becomes a key over. He's bowled so well, Yuri Snowman, that the Tuskers might just think to themselves, well, let's not take too many risks here. With 6 and overs, fine. Three men saving 1 on the offside. In the air and safe. 1 bounce to long off, who's very wide. And now the left-handed Gilson. Back round the wicket goes Snowman. One more. Quicker ball from Snowman, and Jonty slaps it down for 1 more. So exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the over. They're not playing recklessly against Snowman. They'll feel that they can tee off for the last 4 overs. And one big over from here should win it for the Tuskers. What you don't want to do is give your wicket away to this man needlessly. Yep, good call, good early call. This pair has put on 60 in good time, and they settle for 5 singles off the over. It's top bowling from Yuri Sneeman, 3 overs for 11 runs in a game when everybody else is travelling to all parts. So 38 required off the last 4 overs. 8 wickets in hand is the key statistic, but what you don't want in these circumstances is to lose a wicket and have to have somebody come in and swing from ball 1. Things can go south very quickly when that happens. Gareth Dukes is coming back into the attack from the doozy end. Very experienced cricketer. Batted well earlier today. And he'll be one of the finishers, I would imagine. They'll target him to bowl 2 of the last 4 overs, starting with this one. Required rate is 9.5. That's the highest it's been in the match. Dukes to Rapalana. Just the one. Character building for any bowler in these circumstances. Can sometimes feel more like baseball than cricket. It's every ball you bowl, they're looking to hit it out of the ground. Change of angle for the left-hander, they go round the wicket. Gilson won't mind this. He might just look for that pickup shot with the angle of the delivery. That's well bowled. And well batted as well. They've come back for 2. Yeah, nothing wrong with the delivery, and Gilson got a lot of bat on it. So 3 off the first 2 balls. The rate is 9.5. So they're pretty much up with that. 3 off 2. That's what they'll be thinking. One more. Halfway through the over, and now the batting side looking for a boundary off these last 3 balls. Tuskers currently 2nd in the log behind the Storm, and those 2 sides play each other in Benoni on Saturday. That's well bowled. Batsman wasn't expecting it. Oh, it's been given a wide. Oh, that does surprise me. I suppose it's a very short batsman. So extra run for the batting side, and they've still got 3 balls left in the over. The man there, and it's 1 bounce to Yuri Sneeman. So still they search for a boundary in this over. Dukes has bowled well, gave away the 1 wide. So it's a 7 ball over. There are 2 deliveries remaining. Fine leg comes inside the circle. Oh, it's gone straight up in the air. There's a man underneath this. He should take it, and he has taken it at the second grab. And that is the man who dropped one earlier, Temba Maupa. He has completed the catch. Gilson has gone for a high quality 44 off 33, and this game is still in the melting pot. It is 141 for 3. We've got a ball left in the 17th over. So, new man coming in for the home side. Looks like Chad Laycock, with instructions from the coaching team of Ahmed Amla and Yusuf Abdullah. In the old days, of course, they would have crossed and Rapalana will be on strike, but these days the new man has to face. So 141 for 3 with a ball left in the 17th over. The target is 173. This game is on an absolute knife edge. Oh, that'll be a wide down the leg side, and that's one thing the Rhinos don't want to be doing, is giving away free runs. So 2 wides in the over. How crucial might that be? It's a good shot from Laycock, but he's picked out mid-off. A direct hit would have been out. The umpire says, oh, they're going to go for another one. Dukes will throw at the striker's end, and they're home twice. Wow. Chad Laycock could have been run out at either end. There's a wreckage of stumps at both ends, but he is home and dry for 2. And that is 17 overs gone, and that shows you exactly how much nervous tension there is out there. 144 for 3. They need 29 off the last 3 overs. 10 and over. Let's call it 10 and over. They've got 7 wickets in hand. They can't get it at a runner ball. Got to hit boundaries. Yuri Sneyman, he's been the one man in this whole match who has managed to get control over the batting side. Now, his last over, they must take him on. Rapalana goes straight down the ground. It's a long, long way in the air. Oh, and the fielder's missed it. And it's gone through for 4. That should have been a single rather than 4. 4 off the first ball will settle some nerves, but there's still a long way to go in this game. Now, what does he do next? Does he fire one in? Does he float one up? Fires one in, and that'll be one more for Rapalana. Rapalana goes to 71 off 51. My word, he's played well. Was dropped at third man in the 30s, and not a difficult catch. Chad Laycock finishing the innings with Rapalana. Back they come for 2. Laycock, 21-year-old, got a half century last week against Southwestern Districts. That'll be a run. Just seeing whether the umpire thinks it might have been a wide. It's not. So 6 runs have come off the first 4 balls of this over. And that's 1 more. So 7. Now remember the rate is 10. So 1 off the last ball is not the end of the world. They'd like a boundary, but don't go sacrificing against this man unnecessarily, who doesn't let the ball go. Yuri Sneeman, if there was a man of the match award, I think would probably win it, come what may, for a fantastic half century and 4 brilliant overs. It's only conceded 19 runs. That's the 20th. They'll come back for the second. That's good running. So he will finish with figures of none for 20 off 4, which in a high-scoring contest really is excellent. So they got 9 off that over, and that means that the rate is now 9. 18 needed off the last 2 overs, 7 wickets in hand. Now, in cricket around the world, this gets done by the batting side more often than not, but a wicket or 2 will throw everything up in the air. Gareth Dukes is going to bowl the 19th over, his last. Yuri Sneeman has finished his 4 overs, so he can't bowl again. And he finished with none for 20. Dukes is bowling to Rapalana. 18 needed off the last 2 overs. Oh, he's crunched that. Only worth 1. Now Laycock. His chance to make a little bit of history. Former captain of Glenwood First 11. 21 years old now. A well-built young man. Fielders have gone a little bit finer behind square on the offside. Is that a wide? Yes, it is. Oh, the umpire thought long and hard about it. Dukes isn't happy, but the final arbiter is the umpire, and Yuri Sadler says that's a wide. And in a tight game, the 3 wides that Dukes has bowled in the last 2 overs may well come back to bite the Rhinos, who've had a disappointing season. They haven't got a win against their names yet, and this is their 5th match. Good hit from Laycock, only worth 1. Mayet comes off the boundary. Jonty Rapalana is back for 2. And that's what the round of applause is in the pavilion. That is brilliant running. Mohamed Mayet at long on did nothing wrong there. He was quick to the ball, released quickly, but Rapalana had made up his mind. That's 2. And then it was a case of Chad Laycock catching up with him. He nearly got lapped at one stage. So 159 for 3. The target is 173. Full toss. That is out. Mayet has taken the catch. Laycock has gone. And the new man will have to face. Dukes has got his 2nd. So Laycock goes for 8 off 5 deliveries. And it is 158 for 4. 158 for 4, and we've got 10 balls left. Cometh the hour, cometh the captain. Michael Erlank has come out to join Jonty Rapalana. And I was asking earlier, when Rapalana was in the 40s, for him to be there at the end. He's done that. And now it's his captain's job to get something on this next delivery. Always looked as if this game was going to be tight, and that's exactly what we've got. 9 balls left in the match. 15 to win. He's got hold of that as Erlang. It's only 1. Now Jonty Rapalana needs to find the boundary off one or possibly both of these last 2 balls. They don't want to be going to the final over and needing double figures to win. Oh, he's done it. He's done it. Has it gone all the way? No. He's got 4. Oh, and it's a no ball. It's a no ball and it's a free hit. No ball on height, given by the square leg umpire. And that might be the turning point of the match. Rapalana will have a free hit. They're just double checking with the umpire what happens next. 164 for 4. They only need 9 now. Free hit for the Tuskers. Oh, it's a wide. It's not a wide. Not given. Oh, Jonty can't believe it. That hasn't been given. He's played no shots at a free hit. You got to love this game of cricket. 9 to win for the Tuskers. 7 balls remaining. Gareth Dukes looking around the field, looking for somebody to talk to. Last ball of the penultimate over. Good shots, it's 4! That's a fantastic piece of batting from Jonty Rapalana. He takes the applause from the pavilion. 168 for 4. That was the big over that they needed. It means they only need 5 off the last over. 5 to win, 4 to tie. It's been an innings of stops and starts. A very fine 44 off 33 from Sean Gilson. And a good 23 off 14 from Shackleton at the top of the order. But there's only one man to talk about, really, and that is Jonty Rapalana, who's played an absolute gem of an innings here and found 2 boundaries off the last 3 balls of the penultimate over to take all of the pressure off. So the last over will be bowled by John Henriksen, and he will be bowling to the captain of the Tuskers, Mike Erlang. 5 to win for the Tuskers to send them up to Benoni on Saturday, with the possibility that they could lose and still host a semi-final here at the Maritzburg Oval. Of course, they won't be looking to lose, they'll be looking to win, in which case they would top the table and have a guaranteed home semi-final, and if they won that, a home final. 5 to win. Henriksen to Erlang. Oh, and he's got him, caught behind. Erlang is distressed. Now there's 5 balls left and 5 to win, and a new batsman coming in. Erlang caught behind by Katrada off Henriksen. And now it's 168 for 5. And we've got 5 balls left in the game. Looks like Sean Whitehead has come in to replace his captain. Erlang went for a single. This is a game that refuses to die. Well, Whitehead was the outstanding bowler for the Tuskers earlier. 4 overs, 1 for 17. What he wouldn't give now for a little inside edge or outside edge for 4. 5 balls left in the match. 5 runs to win for the Tuskers. And the man of the moment, Jonty Rapalona, is at the non-striker's end. He's got 81 off 56. And the gamble has been played. They've brought the extra man inside the circle. 2 men saving, 1 on the on, 3 on the off. Henriksen to Whitehead. Oh, good shot! Straight down the ground for 1. And Rapalona has a chance to win the game with a boundary. Whitehead comes straight down the pitch to just have a quick word. If Rapalona can find the boundary off one of the last 4 balls, he will be the toast of Pietermaritzburg tonight. They're still taking the gamble. Rapalona, I think, will be looking to hit this ball in the air over extra cover if he can. There's actually, they've now moved the extra fielder back to long off, so that option probably isn't there. It's a slog for none. 3 balls left, 4 to win. Ooh. You can cut the tension with a knife around the old ground. "125 years of top-class cricket played on this ground. Some wonderful games along the way, and this is another real little classic. It's a 20-over contest, and the old-fashioned people will say, well, it doesn't count. Well, the youngsters will tell you this is the game. 3 balls left, 4 to win. Rapalona, 81 not out. Henriksen bowls. Rapalona will only get 1 for this. Takes the score to 170. 172 would be a tie. There are 2 balls remaining. Sean Whitehead has got to get something on this and run. And that's what the discussion is all about. For his part, John Henriksen, I would imagine, will be looking for a leg stump Yorker here. Doesn't want to give him anything that he can free his arms at. Oh, he's beaten the bat. They've gone through for a bye, and they have made it. So Rapalona will face the last ball. They need 2 to win, 1 to tie. Rapalona having words with the square leg umpire, I'm sure, about, is a tie a tie? Do we have a super over? The light is fading, I have to tell you. The clouds have come across the ground for the 2nd time this afternoon. It's quite murky out there. Jonty Rapalona is 82 not out of 58 deliveries, but all he's thinking about is the 2 runs that he needs off the last delivery of the match. 2 to win, 1 to tie. tie would be worth 2 points, of course, so it wouldn't be the end of the world for the Tuskers. But what have we got here? We've actually got 6 men saving 1, and now 7 men saving 1. So they've gone back to an opening bowling field with a third man, with a third man and a fine leg. So they're challenging Rapalana to hit the ball over or through the infield. And he's only going to get 1 for this, and it is going to finish in a tie. 172 for 5 each. So you can't even separate them with wickets. It is a tie, ladies and gentlemen. 172 for 5. So the Tuskers take 2 points. Rapalana finishes 83 not out of 59 balls. And that's an extraordinary game of cricket in many ways. Not often do you see scores finish exactly tied. 172 for 5 each. There was a half century for Yuri Snyman for the Rhinos, 53 off 42 balls. There was another one from Ben van Niekerk, 55 off 36 with 6 fours and a 6. And then the Tuskers got away to a fantastic start after Rapalana and Shackleton put on 67 for the first wicket in 5.5 overs. Shackleton was then caught at mid-off off the bowling of Yuka for 23. Carl Nipper went quickly after that. It was 72 for 2 when he was bowled by Henriksen for 1. And then the third wicket partnership of 70 between Gilson and Rapalana set the stall out for the Tuskers. Gilson went for 44 off 33. Laycock came and went for 8 off 5, and Erlang was out in the final over, caught by the wicketkeeper off Henriksen for a single. It came down to them needing to score 5 runs off the last 5 balls to win, but they got 4. So it finished at 172 for 5. Just oi. Right, so the umpires have stayed out there. We have got a super over, ladies and gentlemen. And those 2 points that I was talking about are neither here nor there. We've got a super over to decide the outcome of this game. What a match it's been. One man I should mention with both bat and ball is Yuri Snyman. 4 overs, none for 20 in the Tuskers innings after he'd scored 53 off 42 balls in the Rhinos innings. The former captain playing an enormous role in getting his side to this situation. And it's going to take a little while for this to happen, so we're just going to pause commentary for a little while. 5 in their 20 overs. Henriksen going around the wicket from the Hewlett's end to bowl to Sean Gilson. Gilson batted beautifully earlier. It starts with a dot ball. This is the last chance saloon for the Tuskers. You feel if they lose this game, that chance of a home semi-final might just disappear with it. 5 balls left in the super over. Oh, he's missed that one as well. They've gone through for a bye successfully. Chad Laycock was the man coming to the danger end. So 1 run off 2 deliveries, not what the Tuskers were hoping for. It'd be interesting to see who they use for their super over. Would they go with the seam option? Someone like Ziad Abrams, who's a specialist at closing innings. Or would they go for Sean Whitehead, who bowled so well at the top of the innings and indeed at every stage that he bowled during the innings with his slow left arm? Well, Jonty Rapalana, the top score for the Tuskers, but he's obviously exhausted, so he hasn't come out for this super over. 83 off 59 he made. This is Chad Laycock facing John Henriksen. And there's another dot, and it's not a dot because they've come through for a bye. There's a chance for a second bye. They're coming back and they've got it. So all the runs in the first 3 deliveries have come through the wicketkeeper. Neither batsman has got a run, and the total is 3 in this super over. And shout out for John Henriksen, who's bowling fantastically for the Rhinos. It's one of those times as a batsman where you can try and hit the ball too hard. This time he has got bat on it. They must come for 2. They do that. Laycock is going to the danger end and he's done well. So they've scored 5 of 4 deliveries. They've got to find the boundary off the last 2 balls, you feel. Well bowled. He's beaten the inside edge. They've missed the stumps again. They've scored 6 off 5 balls and only 1 of them off the bat. Last ball of the super over. Henriksen round the wicket to Gilson. Tuskers have got to find the boundary here. Been a brilliant over from Henriksen. It's not going to find the boundary. They will come back for 2, and that will be all. So they've got 8 runs to defend. The Rhinos need 9 to win. And while the sides turn around, let me just go through the 2 score cards today. The Tuskers won the toss, chose to bat, I beg your pardon, chose to bowl. And up front, the Rhinos were in the cart. They lost their top 2 players without scoring between them. Mohammed Mayat, the captain, LBW to Sean Whitehead without scoring. That was 1 for 1. And then Nonkululeko Yika was bowled by Budaza for a golden duck. That was 8 for 2. And then Machotsi played a good hand of 19 off 13 balls, but fell caught at mid-on after he'd done all the hard work for 19, and that was 33 for 3 in the 5th over. But then a fine recovery with a partnership worth 74 between Yuri Snyman and Gareth Dukes. And Ben van Niekerk. Snyman eventually made 8 fours and a 6 before he was caught behind by Zuma off Abrams for 53 off 42 deliveries. And then Gareth Dukes came in and played a fine hand of 30 off 19 balls before he was caught in the deep by Laycock off Badaza. That was 158 for 5. And then Rolfs came in to join Ben van Niekerk in a 6-wicket partnership that took them through to 172 for 5. Van Niekerk finishing 55 not out off 36 balls with 6 fours and a 6. Rolfs finished on 6. Best of the bowlers was Sean Whitehead, who took 1 for 17 off 4. Ziad Abrams 1 for 28 off 4. And Balelo Badaza 2 for 38 off 4. And Mondli Kamalo 4 overs, a little expensive, 1 for 44. Erlang bowled over for 7 runs, Gilson for 22 and Nipper for 8. 172 for 5. And in response, this is the card of the Tuskers. Shackleton caught off the bowling of Yika for 23, and that was 67 for 1, a ball before the end of the power play. Carl Nipper didn't get going, bowled by Henriksen for 1, 72 for 2 after 7.2. Rapalana then got to a very rapid 50 off 31 deliveries, and he and Sean Gilson put on an excellent partnership of 70 before Gilson was caught by Maupa off the bowling of Gareth Dukes for 44 off 33. That was 142 for 3 off 16.5. Chad Laycock came and went for 8 off 5, caught by Mayet in the deep off the bowling of Dukes. That was 158 for 4 after 18.2, and then Erlang caught Katrada bowled by Henriksen for 1, 168 for 5. Rapalana finished 83 not out of 59 deliveries, but couldn't find the one extra run that would have won the game in real time for his team. So where we are now at 172 for 5 each is a super over. The Tuskers have scored 8 runs in their over, and they now have to defend that score, and we wait for the Rhinos batsman to come out onto the ground. I'm watching Umbalelo Budaza warming up, and it looks like he is going to be the man to bowl the super over, and he will be bowling it from the doozy end. It's quite dark out there. The sun is a thing of the past. The clouds have come right the way across, and as I look down to my right, there are batsmen emerging from the grand old pavilion here at the ACDC Express Pietermaritzburg Oval, and there are potentially 6 deliveries left in the afternoon's entertainment. I would assume that the Rhinos will send out the 2 men who caused all the destruction, Yuri Snyman and Benjamin van Niekerk. And I'm just looking down now to see whether that's going to be the case. Van Niekerk is definitely there. And it will be Budaza to bowl the super over. And it hasn't been a great day for Budaza. I'm just slightly surprised that they haven't gambled to go with Sean Whitehead, but I suppose they feel that Whitehead could give up a couple of early boundaries and then it's all over. So Budaza has got to try and defend 8. And confirmation. Yuri Sneeman's at the non-striker's end. Benjamin van Niekerk will take strike. There are 4 men on square and behind, saving 1. Everybody else is on the boundary, but nobody on the boundary behind the stumps. Starts with a full toss, does Badaza. They come racing, and that's brilliant fielding. Looked like there must have been 2 there. The batsman decided to keep to 1. So now the left-handed Yuri Sneeman. Sneeman to face Badaza. They got 1 off the first. They need 9 to win. That's well bowled. It's a dot ball. Now, interestingly, when the Tuskers batted, they were looking for runs even off that kind of delivery, and they got 3 byes during the course of the over. So 2 overs, rather 2 balls have gone in the super over, and the Rhinos are 1 without loss, chasing the 8 runs posted by the home side, the Tuskers. Badaza in the air and safe, and 4. That's the first boundary of the super over, and it comes from Yuri Sneeman. Leaping effort by Mike Erlang in the covers to try and clutch that one in, but it was so well struck, and Sneeman has just been head and shoulders above everybody else in this match. So that takes the score to 5, and they only need another 4 to win. Will he try and do it in 1 ball? They're thinking about 2 here. Sneeman goes, yeah, they're coming back for 2. This is a chance. The direct hit is surely out. What does the umpire say? The umpire says no, it's not out. Wow. They're back for 2. Wow. That must have been so close. Yuri Sadler is the umpire, and he had a full view. Just so often when you see a direct hit from the outfield like that, it's out, but not on this occasion. So the Rhinos are on 7. There are 2 balls left. There are 6 men saving 1 now. Surely they should be bringing them all in. Oh, they're giving him a run anywhere on the onside. Can't say that I agree with these tactics. 2 to win. He's got that one away. They're going to come back for 2, come what may. Van Niekerk is going to the danger end. He gets there, and the Rhinos do it with a ball to spare. So the Tuskers made 8 in their 6 deliveries. The Rhinos have done it in 5. They've won the super over with a ball to spare. And that is heartbreak for the Tuskers, who will now, I feel, have to go to Benoni on Saturday to win the game against the table-topping Eastern Storm if they're going to secure a home semi-final. For so long during this game, the Tuskers looked as if they had it in hand. If truth be told, they probably gave away too many runs in the field, but take nothing away from the quality of the batting of Benjamin van Niekerk and Yuri Sneeman, the 2 men who came out for the super over. They set the target of 172 for 5. 173 to win. The Tuskers couldn't do it. They finished at 172 for 5. The super over, won with a ball to spare by the Rhinos, is their first win of the season. It'll make no difference to them. They can't qualify for the semi-finals, but it makes a huge difference to the Tuskers, who, as I say, now will have to play their last round-robin game in 3 days' time at Willamore Park in Benoni, and I feel they're going to have to win that game, or they'll have to travel for the semi-finals. So I hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. Everybody here has been biting their nails, and a match of high tension. Don't forget that there's lots more cricket going on this website, so go to cricket.co.za for everything you need to know. And one of the games tonight is the Dolphins against Northwest, and that's where I'm going right now. It's goodbye from the ACDC Express, Pietermaritzburg Oval. That was ridiculous. That's one I could have done with a co-commentator.